What is a community? Is it the places? Is it the culture? Is it the people? What is it that makes a city come to life? And what is it that gives a community its character and expression? More than just geography, a community is the people. It's their thoughts, their desires. It's more than demographics. It's the faces and humans with hopes, needs, dreams, and desires.
So, what's your name?
Mario Manzi.
So what do you do for fun, and where do you hang out around here?
To be honest, it sounds super nerdy and stuff, but like I just try to get better at what I do. So like I do marketing, so I just try to read everything about marketing, watch videos, stuff like that.
I usually stay at my house.
Oh, really?
Here.
Here? At the library?
Honestly, yeah. Yeah, basically.
Here
or a friend's house.
I usually stay at home a lot, but I mean, that's about it, really.
The mall, my house a lot of times, or other people's houses.
Right.
Me, I go down to the I, Orlando I,
Oh, yeah?
and I sing professionally.
I do fun. That's a tough one. Work, read, self-improvement.
What's one thing you'd like to see more of in Clermont?
Things for the youth, like stuff for us.
People helping each other.
Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen?
Ice cream shops.
Clermont's been like on the up and coming these days. Like, just like, I don't know, I feel like more variety like in stores that like, I don't know, like more shopping areas.
Probably more, we need a mall of some sort. We need a mall.
I would probably more places to go. Like, I understand they're building more houses and stuff for more like things to do.
All the development that's going on here is really like bothering me and my family. You can't even find like a square foot of grass anymore that's not being built on.
I just want more stuff to do. Doesn't seem like there's a lot to do in Clermont.
Literally exactly the opposite of what I said.
Yeah. Let's just do more development.
More like community get-togethers, like more community stuff. Get people off the couch, away from the beer and the TV, and out meeting other people, and ways like maybe more things for the kids and young people.
Perhaps more community participation. I don't think there's a lot of events that are going on around here that I can see individuals from many different groups come together to get a single thing accomplished. No matter what it is, assumingly for a beneficial situation.
Diversity. Like, it's growing for sure with the population and stuff like that, but I'm from Miami, so I'm used to seeing more Hispanic people, Jewish people, Black people and stuff like that, so that's one thing, being up here kind of was like,
True.
you didn't get as much as that as you did in Miami, so.
Where do you fit in, or who are your people? You know what I mean?
I think my people are anybody who's positive, like anybody who tries to better themselves, better their condition, and like, just understands that life can quickly become an existential crisis, but a lot of us don't know really what's going on, and as long as you're cool with that, like, you can always grow. So.
It's people my age, I guess the LGBT community. I fit in with a lot of people. I have different personalities, so I can fit in with anyone.
Okay, I don't fit in. And I don't see that as a problem, really. If anything, I fit in with everybody.
That's cool.
Who are my people? Well, all my people left Clermont.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, they either moved out of state to go to a different university in another state, or they're staying at UCF full time.
I hang out with all the weirdos. As a scientist, I'm a skeptic, but I tend to, in the fun of it, I believe.
Like, people I socialize with,
Yeah.
Race-wise?
However you want it.
Hispanic and Black people is who I mainly hang around, but I guess you could say Caucasian people as well. But my main group is Hispanics and Blacks.
I guess if I was to broadly say that, I'm a Christian. So if there was any organization or people that I'd associate myself with, it's a Christian.
I try to just be around like-minded people. I used to have a bunch of pothead friends. I don't have pothead friends anymore. I don't hang around anybody that's not productive. Like, you might think I care all about money, but it's not about that. But I like being around people that think like me, because that makes me better as a person. I don't think about it. I hang out with quality people that are either above me or on the same level.
I think we need a little bit more of the diversity to like stand out. Like, I feel like a lot of the people who are different tend to kind of like, you know, stand off to the side and stuff. So
Yeah.
I think we need to bring that to the forefront.
Cool.
Be more social. I feel like people are very introverted.
The sense of community as
Sense
a whole.
of-
I honestly feel like sometimes it can be really like split apart between people, especially politically. I feel like there's
Really?
a lot of a diversion between different viewpoints. So it would be cool if we come together more.
Well, you guys approached me fairly easily, so I think if people approached others and were also they had a mindset that they're okay with being approached, I think that would open up the doors for like dialogue amongst the community members.
Maybe some more after-school projects. It's important for kids to have a positive influence and teach them how to be productive and make things grow out of the time. Because by making them grow and making them realize that they can do more with what they already have in their life, and by empowering them like that, then you're empowering the overall community.
I think we need to be willing to share our ideas and be more open with our ideas, whether it's from somebody who has an opposing idea or ourselves who are offering an idea, to present it in a loving way. You know, it's not a matter of judging the individual. It's a matter of, you know, expressing or sharing information, sharing knowledge that somebody may have not been exposed to prior to saying something. And whether it's a matter of Christianity or whatever people group you're from, you know, knowledge is power. And I hope that everybody is not afraid to be willing to express those views and you know, not be put down because they're sharing it.
I guess how knowledgeable people are in the community.
Like knowledgeable? How's it?
With many things. I don't want to like go deep into it. I'm just, from my experience, I guess with the race thing, that's also why I think there should be more diversity. There's been negative things that's been said to my family, not me personally, but you know, just negative actions to me, but things have actually been said to people, my sister, my cousin, and stuff like that. So I want people to be more knowledgeable as to, you know, just don't do it. Keep to yourself really if you don't have anything to say.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
A wife and having, you know, living somewhere, either renting or having a house. Whew. Like done with school, maybe married, good career, hopefully some pets, and then a husband. Would be nice.
Being the CEO of a 250-person digital marketing agency and owning a building just as big as this one.
White House.
White House. Wow.
Not as the president, but just working under the presidency, hopefully.
10 years, hopefully away from Florida. I'm kind of done with it.
Oh, man.
I really don't know where I'd like to go, but somewhere in IT, so maybe Silicon Valley would be a good place to go.
Nice.
10 years, hopefully, maybe on stage and, you know, with a professional band. And also working for NASA.
Working for NASA?
Yes, as an astrophysicist, mainly a planetary scientist. Maybe.
Do you go to church? Why or why not?
Yeah, I go to real life. I don't know. It's kind of like whenever I'm going through stuff, like I just go to church, and I feel like they always like relate somehow to what I'm going through. So it's kind of just like a good stress relief. Like, I mean, technically it's the beginning of the week, but for me, the end of the week, like after all the stress from school and like people, then it's like I go to church and then I calm down. And it's just a good reset button, I guess.
Cool. Yeah.
I do not go to church. I meditate.
I do not.
Do not?
I'm not religious. I do not have an affiliation.
I don't go to church. I'm an atheist as well.
No, I'm atheist, but I'm going to go to church for my cousin's support.
I do go to church. I am a Christian Scientist. I do back that up with science and with the Bible. There's no need for any type of religious people to be pushing their faith on anybody. God does not require it, nor is it needed.
I do not. I used to go to church. I was baptized, and my mom took me out of the church when I was 5 or 6 when the news came out that they were molesting kids. That was a long time ago. I don't know if it's changed or not, but that's when my mom took me out of the church service, and I didn't really see a reason to go back.
Do you go to church? Why or why not?
So I don't, but I do believe in spirituality. I think it's very important. I think religion and spirituality are two different things. But I do think that places where people congregate for some kind of spiritual practice is incredibly important. Long story short, just like my sisters are both Christian and they do go to church, and I've seen how it's revolutionized and changed their lives. So I have nothing but admiration and respect for church centers, but I don't go to church.
Cool.
Well, for a year I didn't. For about a year after I graduated high school, I think I made excuses in my mind. I wasn't even going to college for the first year. And I had the excuse of thinking that I go to work and I have so many bills I don't even want to pay for the gas to have to go out to work. My God knows me and he knows my heart. But I had an influence from a friend for which, sometimes it's not all about myself. It's not all about me. And there was a point in which I wasn't exposed to these specific truths. And there were adults who had been exposed to this truth for a very, very long time, longer than I have now, who were willing to be there in that community and in that church to be that shoulder for me, a newcomer, and help me through my journey of understanding these things. So it's not all about myself either. If I was to go to church, what can I do for everybody else is the thing. What can I contribute to that church environment? But it's also good to maintain a spiritual momentum, and it's kind of hard to stay in that position if you're not going to a church. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I know that as I kept on going to church, I kept my mind focused on spiritual things, and definitely keeps me away from sin.
Yeah.
Every Sunday. Actually, multiple times a week, I'm involved in my church a lot. So Wednesday and Sunday, I do it because I believe in the values. You can talk about all the spiritual hippy-jippy and this and that, but if there's one thing we can look at, that has benefited society. If we move God away, but just look at the core values. Do you know why Rome collapsed?
Families, I would assume. I don't know. Could be wrong.
Because overindulgence in everything that's considered pleasure. Overindulgence in pleasure, and when we overindulge in sex, when we overindulge in alcohol, when we create addicts, we become like animals. We become animalistic, and we tear the values away that has been holding the seams of society together.
Right.
For example, look at how unhappy people are now, because divorces are creating broken homes. What are broken homes creating? Broken kids.
Yeah.
And then we wonder why a kid goes out and shoots 20 kids in a school here.
Right.
Well, that's because of isolation that creates depression, computer games, broken homes, all these different things. But my point is, let's go back to the marriages that fall apart now.
Yeah.
Because what is the one thing that marriage is not anymore? Cool, right?
True.
When was the last time you saw a movie out of Hollywood promoting sex after marriage? And where people actually get married now, they just, sleep with each other nonstop. And when was it that marriage became uncool? Just the last 60 years.
Yeah.
Marriage have worked for how many years? Thousands of years. So,
yeah.
Why is it suddenly that the world have gotten so much worse? Because what used to be cool is now uncool. What we're seeing in society now is a lack of common thinking. So people like, Tony Robbins? Well, he's a motivational speaker. People like Tony Robbins are making millions of dollars teaching what used to be common thinking to people that now lack common thinking. So he's basically teaching common thought to people that have uncommon thinking because they've been programmed. So why is it that what used to be common is now uncommon? That's the point.
Wow. What's one thing you would change about church if you could?
You can never you can never ever. We're human. We're all human. So at the end of the day, just I grew up in a church, and for whatever reason, I was also conditioned to believe that others were different than me. But we're all flesh and bone, and we came from dust, and to dust we shall return, as the scripture says. So as long as you don't forget that, then I think that division is a little less. But churches have the tendency to create separation because, like, I'm Christian, you're Catholic, you believe that, I believe this, and so there's a wall. But I think if we can do something to dissolve that wall and be accepting of each other's ideas, religions, and even atheists and stuff, the lack of a belief or a religion, then I think it's a good change, or it's a beneficial change to make.
Being more accepting.
Most of the people in churches, even though they're not supposed to be judgmental, they really are. And I feel like that's something that needs to be changed. Because, like, no matter what they say, they end up saying something judgmental, and it's just kind of like, I thought church was an open place. But okay.
When people have presented the idea to me, it's been very closed off and inclusive, like kind of inclusive to everybody as they make it out to be. But as they told me more about it, they sort of reject anybody who's not their ideal. I don't know if it was just my experience or just church in general. Of course, there's more than one idea of church. But yeah, I'd like to see more inclusivity.
I don't have much of an opinion because I don't go to church.
I would want people who are interested in going to actually be interested and not go to be in church, like, you know, like there's some people go but they're not really in it. Yeah.
Change about the church. I would start by raising my hand at the people saying, "Oh, you can't wear a hat worshiping," or "Oh, you can't wear shorts," or, you know, like the religious people. I think we need less religious people and more real people, because religious people are always so busy swinging their hand out at others when they're the ones with the biggest problems. Wow. If we could just love one another, and it's like the Baptists out in the street with signs saying, "You're going to hell, you're going to hell," right? How is that motivating anybody to change their life? How is that making anybody feel like you're fulfilling the commandment that Jesus said, love one another like you love yourself?
Right.
If you're just doing that one thing, and you're already fulfilling the most important thing in the Bible.
Wow.
You know, how can I make a gay person? Let's not get too much into this, but I know the Bible talks about, you know, that it's a horrible thing or whatever. You know, it's an abomination in the eyes of God, homosexuality. But why is it that Christians are so unpopular? Because we feel like we condemn them. When I have gay people in my church and nobody comes up to them and tells them they're a sinner. If they really and truly want to get changed, if we truly have the right values in the church, the love itself would make people open their eyes and change us from that.
If you could ask, and this is our last question, if you could ask God anything, what would it be?
Why? Why waste your time on us? Like, what's the point in creating us exactly? What is our purpose?
Why he lets bad things happen, I guess. Why does he choose the people, the most amazing people to lead first?
I'd ask him, why is there evil?
I mean, if I'm already talking to God, then I feel like then that's like the answer. But I was like, I don't know, like, what's it all for, I guess? I don't know. Like, what's the meaning of life? That'd be a cool question, like, to get the answer to, I guess.
That would be great.
Yeah. I don't know. There's gonna be like, is heaven real? But I'm like, if I'm talking to God, then I'm like, I'm assuming, like, yeah. No, everybody has this. I don't know. I'm contradicting myself right now. Sorry.
Just to guide me through life. You said ask him a question?
Yeah.
Oh, if he could guide me through life, like, safely.
All right.
I would ask him the best way to disprove this modern concept. And I say modern concept of evolution. I would ask him to give me the knowledge in order to help people.
I don't really know. There's too many questions to ask. Why cancer would probably be one.
Dang. Okay.
It's a pretty good question.
Man, you guys are crazy, like in a good way, because these are questions that everybody should ask themselves. One question, to be honest, I really don't know. I think I would say thanks, and I'd reserve my question.
What does he want me to do? What does he want me to do? What is my purpose here in all of it? Some people may ask, why so much pain? Why is there so much pain and such? Or when am I going to die? But I don't know if those things are as relevant as it is of what is it that God is expecting from me. I don't want to disappoint him, no matter, there's a lot of people with a lot of different views. But I think if there's anything that truly personally matters, what is it that he wants me to do?
When are you going to be here? When are you going to come back? Because this is the one question that's not answered. I don't know. I think if we knew when God would come back, when Jesus would come back, if we had a given day, I think we would get very busy with our lives, trying to make everything right. I think it's just because of the fact that we don't think that we have, limited time. That's why we're so careless, and we don't go out and do enough.
So what is a community? It's more than just demographics, it's more than just statistics. It's people. People with real feelings, real desires, and real hopes. A community is the people around us that we can help. So, who will you help?
Following the pace of our own, wish we could reverse time, but adventures are made of stone.